Jim Munchback, and I will be your facilitator, professor of personal finance at the University of Houston, Bauer College of Business. We're just a few minutes early today. Today is day one, the first day of class. University of Houston started yesterday, Monday, but today is 26 August, year of our Lord 2025. I can't believe it's already August 26th. Anyway, this is personal finance. So if I happen to pop into your stream on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook or X, where else are we running this? Did I say YouTube? So this is my YouTube channel at Jim Munchback, and we will be broadcasting, live streaming this course this semester. And this semester is my last semester to teach personal finance before I start 1 year sabbatical. So I have some very cool plans, at least I'm excited about them, for 2026, and I'm looking forward to sharing those with you. But today is pretty much introduction. Today we're going to jump into the course and just go over some basic housekeeping rules. So right now I'm just basically doing a little tech test to see if everything is working. It looks like things are working somewhat. So good, so much. So just FYI, you can find this. This is live streaming right now, so this video is not going to be in the playlist, but we have a playlist each semester for each new cohort. This is fall of the fall semester of 2025, so we do have a playlist, and you can jump into uhplaylist.com. It will take you right to the playlist for this semester. So currently I am looking at the Zoom screen over there. I have my MacBook over there, and you could I think you can see that, but you can't quite see the MacBook over there, but you see everything else in the studio. I guess I could move this. I see someone is being admitted. Let's see. Yeah. Now, well, that didn't work so well. Zoom. Okay, we're getting ready to get started, so let me put the Zoom up here, and you should be able to see that now. Not that you really want to see that, but hey, why not? Okay, so now I have the Zoom over there. Hey, looks like Alec, I like having that over there. And good to see you. Welcome. Can you leave a little comment and tell me that you can hear me? And hey, Kelly, I see Kelly is joining now. If you could, I'm looking at the chat. If you could just tell me if you can hear me, that would be great. Yes, awesome. You, uh, Alec, is it Alec? Did I say that right? Alec, you are the very first student to interact with me in the fall 2025 semester. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so yes, you can hear me. And Kelly, welcome. I see you're here. Can you hear me? Hope you can. Hope you can see everything okay. I'll give you guys a little clue though. We are going to be live streaming uh, we'll be live streaming every lecture at the same time at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays. And you're welcome to join Zoom, but I'm going to ask you to let me know if you want to join Zoom, because typically the video quality is not as good. We have lots of technical issues, mostly related to security, which is all good. But at any rate, here's the thing. Most students aren't joining the Zoom. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've just found that the Zoom room is just an extra layer of technology that is really not being used. So this is being live streamed. You will see, if you look at the, let me get rid of this and this, see if I can, uh, I'm having a little bit of, there we go. Okay, so if you just look at the UH playlist right there, you'll see that that's where you can find these live streams. Now, you won't find when it's live like it is right now, it won't be in the playlist. So, after, as soon as I finish the lecture, I'll jump into my YouTube channel and I'll take my live stream and I'll plug it into the playlist. So if you want to be here live, like you are now, if you want to be here live and not be in the Zoom room, you can just jump to at Jim Munchback. That's my YouTube playlist, or YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. At Jim Munchback is how you can find me on all those platforms. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. I wanted to kind of remind everyone it's 10:03 right now, 10:03 a.m., and I'm super excited about getting started. I'm going to jump in and show you. I think we'll go here. No, let's do this. I think this is the one we want. So I'm going to just show you, this is what we're going to go over today. And I will, let me get rid of this, bring that up again in a minute. So we're going to review, just today is just a review, it's just a preview, I should say. I want to help you understand how you can be very successful in the course. So I'm going to share some things with you today. I'm not going to teach much, but I will talk and share. Good morning, Kelly. Thank you for that note. I will just share kind of what you can expect this semester in personal finance. It's a very unique course, different than uh, probably any course you will take in your college career. I don't know that that's true, but I believe that's true, that it's different. And I'm going to share a little bit about why it's different. So let's get started. I'm going to jump in here and see if I can. These are my talking points. So the first thing I want to do is just highlight what you already should know. Money Study Group is this this is really just a I wouldn't say it's a page, it's a landing page, it's a website, and it's just there to help you understand a little bit about Money Study Group. And this enroll in the course is a very important button. And so, as I said yesterday in my welcome video, the day before the preview video, I let you know that this is, in fact, I'll just take you right here to, whoops, guess I should just do this. So this is the actual course. I mean, this is where you will go when you click on that little button that says enroll in the course. And you will see here that it's a $79 charge for this course. And some students send me emails. Please don't send me an email. If you're concerned about that, if that's not something that you're okay with, you can certainly find another personal finance course that is part of your CTAP. Your CTAP works with big publishers who create, I would say, pretty generic content for your course. So if you want that package, that's available. We have several other courses that fit the 3300 BUSI Introduction to Personal Finance. But this course is different. I'm going to tell you why it's different, and I'm going to hope that you'll trust me that this little investment you're going to make is going to pay huge dividends for the rest of your life. I believe that. So let me get back to kind of what we're going to cover. The big idea today is the first day, so I want to cover the big idea, but I first just want to mention that you will need to enroll in Money Study Group. That's where you're going to get a lot of the content. There's a lot of helpful content there that you will not get in these lectures. So I will refer to Money Study Group, and plus that's the platform. It's on the Thinkific platform. It's a big investment for me to create content that will help me teach you the things that I want to teach you this semester about personal finance. And so anyway, you'll need to enroll there. I've already talked about the YouTube playlist. If you didn't know that, it is the uhplaylist.com. I think that should be, yeah, right there. uhplaylist.com is what you're looking for. And that'll take you to the playlist. It's live streamed. This lecture, this course will be live streamed. It's an asynchronous course, so you do not have to be present on Tuesdays at 10 a.m., but I'll be here Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And this week we're doing the Zoom room. But unless someone reaches out to me and says, hey, I really want to be in the Zoom room, I'm not going to do the Zoom room because it just sits there. And I don't want to pressure you to participate in a live stream on Zoom. And so it's there if you want it, but it's like I said, the quality of the video is generally not as good as it is on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn. And so I will show you how you can interact with the course as we go through the semester. But anyway, that's that. That's the YouTube playlist, the primary way to access on demand this course. GroupMe is something that is a pretty important, well, I'd say it's pretty important for you. It's GroupMe is the tool that we've chosen to use. Uh, I, every semester I do a like a survey to ask students, are there some tools that you are aware of that you would like to use in this course in a way to collaborate with one another? And GroupMe has been, for a few years now, the number one survey answer. So I, I, GroupMe works great for me. It's super simple. It's easy. It's free. I think it's free. I'm pretty sure. If it's not free, I paid for the upgrade. I forget what I paid for. But at any rate, it works. Here's how it works, though. GroupMe is a tool for you as a cohort in this group to sign up and participate in. It's not required. You don't have to be part of GroupMe, but it is a tool, a resource for you. So you can find that if you just go to uhgrp.com. I should have that on the screen, but I don't. But that's how you get to the GroupMe link. There's also a link in Money Study Group that will take you to the GroupMe where you will join the group. And in that group, in GroupMe, your opportunity, the reason you would want to join that group is so you can ask questions. Not just ask questions. That's probably the main reason. If you have questions, maybe you didn't understand something I said or part of the assignment and you just want to ask another student, that's what GroupMe is for. Uh, but it's also, I think, even more importantly, a place for you if you're a student who really gets it and you're excited about what you're learning and what you're able to do and the tools that you're going to have access to this semester. GroupMe is a place for you to share your knowledge and experience and maybe provide some insights or direction or helpful suggestions to students who may not be where you are. So I think GroupMe is a tool for our A students who really have the time and the capacity to help other students move forward. And that's really what I hope it is used for. Now, I do not moderate the GroupMe. I found that, it's helpful to have a space that you can use without me coming and spying on you. I will jump into GroupMe, so be aware that I could at any time come and spy on you, but I don't really do that. What I do though is I ask you, every student in this course, to let me know if you're seeing any questions in GroupMe that can't be answered or are not being answered by other students, because that means somewhere along the line I did not answer that question. So most of your questions are questions that have already been answered. And so GroupMe is a great way. If you're a student like me, in college, I was a solid C student. So I can relate to C students who basically wait till the last minute, let it all pile up and, do their best and wing it most of the time. That's how I did college. It's how I did much of my life until I got older and wiser and had gone through some very difficult times where I learned that a little discipline pays a huge dividend. So I'm going to share with you today a few things you can do, one thing in particular that you can do to make this course an easy A. And I want everyone, by the way, to get an A in the course. But frankly, I couldn't care less about what grade you get in this course. What I care about is that you take away the skills that I'm going to teach you this semester. So every Tuesday I'll be here to try to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And I'm going to ask you this week, one of the things I'm going to ask you to do in your homework assignment is to tell me what are your goals for this course. So I'm looking forward to learning more about your goals, why you're here, what you want to learn, and I'm eager to do my job to help you gain every skill and every tool that you need to be successful financially. And I'm qualified to do that. I promise you, I'm qualified to do that. I'm not saying I'm the best teacher in the world. I am telling you that I've experienced all of the things that you need to experience in order to build wealth. And so the big idea in the course, that brings us to the big idea. Ooh, the big idea. There we go. The big idea in the course is I want to teach you to become a millionaire by the time you're 50. Now, that may seem like a huge, big goal to you, but that's really something that is not such a big goal. If you do a little math and you figure out that $1 million is not as much money as it was back in 2012 when I started teaching this course. Because of inflation, $1 million will not buy what it used to buy. So when I was in your shoes, when I was in college, I read a book. I hope you read books, but I read a book that changed the way I think about money. It was called The Millionaire Next Door. It's one of my favorite books to this day. And the reason that that book resonated with me, the authors, there were two authors, they tell stories about these people who became millionaires, and they called them the millionaire next door because these millionaires, they didn't live in big houses, they didn't drive new cars. You would never know that they were a millionaire. They were just the person who lived next door they were doing the right things, the small things, the little things that they could do that produced really good results. And so I'm going to share lots of stories with you this semester about folks that I've helped, folks I've worked with, people that I've learned from about building wealth. And but for me in college, I guess it was after college because that book wasn't published back in Noah's time when I was in college. It was published, I think, in 92. I can't remember. But anyway, it wasn't published when I was in college, I don't believe. But I read it shortly after I got out of college, started working. And the point is, the big takeaway for me is that these people who were called millionaires, the millionaire next door, they were people who one of the things they did is they bought used cars. Well, the way I paid for college, I went to tech school when I was just barely 17 years old. I left home. I went to Denver, Colorado from Lansing, Michigan, and I studied automotive. I went to Denver Automotive and Diesel College, and I learned how to become a master mechanic. So I did that when I was very young. I learned a skill to become an auto mechanic. And through college, that's what I did. That's how I paid for my college. I paid for every dime of my college. But I learned to be a mechanic, and that's a trade that I had, and that's the job that I worked for many years, and it was a great way to make money. I made more money than most of the folks in my college because I had a skill. Anyway, the book, The Millionaire Next Door, they talk about how these millionaires buy used cars. Well, as a guy who knew how cars worked, I I really resonated with that, and I started buying. Yeah, obviously, I was buying used cars in college, but I would buy used cars and I would sell them because in Lansing, Michigan, there was so much rust that old cars were just rare. But in Missouri, where I went to college, Springfield, Missouri, there were these old cars everywhere. So I would buy them and sell them. And then I read this book, The Millionaire Next Door, and realized that one of the basic habits of building wealth is things as simple as buying a used car, getting a good deal on a used car. So I just want you to know that the big idea of this course, to become a millionaire by the time you're 50, may seem like a really big goal, but I promise you it's not. It's certainly not the same goal it was when I was in college. So don't feel intimidated by it, but trust me, uh, meeting this goal, achieving this goal will be way better for you than the alternative. To become a millionaire by the time you're 50, that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. That's my hope, is that you'll say, yeah, that sounds like a decent goal. And if you don't already have a goal, maybe you can just grab hold of that goal, my goal, the goal that I have, that I know I can teach you how to do with no problem whatsoever. I promise you, if you pay attention, you follow along, and you do the things I'm going to ask you to do in this course, you will very easily become a millionaire by the time you're 50, just by doing the simple things. And I'm going to show you how to make that easy. Just like I'm going to show you how to make getting an A in this course very easy. But you have to do the work. If you don't, then it's on you. It's not on me. So there we go. Okay, the big idea. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about the 3 laws of personal finance. When you jump into Money Study Group, you'll see a little video there. It's just a story of a couple of folks who, one started early and one waited, and it talks about the cost of waiting, and it talks about the 3 laws of personal finance. Number 1 is the law of spending and saving. Spend less than you earn so that you can save more for what matters most. It's the fundamental, most important law of personal finance. And I hope you'll learn these 3 laws and memorize them and stamp them to your forehead. The first law of personal finance, the law of spending and saving, is the most important law there is in personal finance, but it's also the most disregarded law. People don't save, they spend more than they earn. So spend less than you earn so you can save more for what matters most. That's the first law of personal finance. The second law of personal finance is the law of tax advantaged investing. I was born on April 15th. My first son was born on December 31st, and that's when I discovered the power of a tax deduction. My second son was born on October 15th, which is the deadline for filing your corporate income taxes. So I feel like I was born to be a financial planner. Truthfully, tax advantaged investing is a thing. It's important, and you're going to learn how it works. It's the second law of personal finance. And the third law, and probably really the most important or powerful law of personal finance, is the law of purpose and commitment. So if your purpose is fuzzy and you're unclear about what your life is about and what you really want out of life, if your purpose isn't clear, then you're not going to have the same level of success in personal finance as you could have if you had a clear purpose. Because when you have a clear purpose, it's much easier for you to commit to the things you need to commit to achieve so the way I frame it is, one of the things I like to talk about with my students, is discipline. It's discipline. I don't know what you think of that word, but discipline is a powerful idea. It's a powerful tool. It's a powerful practice. It's a powerful thing. So discipline, here's my definition. Discipline is the little thing that you can do that will allow you to build the muscle that you need to have to be able to do the big thing, the really big thing that you could never do if you didn't have the muscle to do the big thing. So discipline is the little thing that you can do. And I'm going to teach you a bunch of little things that you can do. And if you do them, I promise you that those small disciplines, like spending less than you earn, those, and being accountable for your money, these are the assignments you're going to do this semester. And they're all little things. All of the things I'm going to teach you this semester are little things that you can do that I call disciplines. And if you will do them, these little things, you will grow the muscle to become strong and capable and able to do the really big things that seem big right now. But you'll look back when you're my ripe old age and you'll say, hey, that dude was right. I did the little things and they paid off big time and they really weren't hard. But if you don't do the little things, you won't be able to do the big things. So just trust me on that and come along with me on this journey this semester and learn what you can learn. What I'm eager to teach you about managing money and life and relationships. There's a lot of that in this course. So you're going to experience more than just basic financial literacy stuff. You're going to experience a whole lot more than that. So, 3 laws of personal finance. Next is, what is a financial plan? This week's assignment, part of it is to just think about and answer the question, what do you think a financial plan is? Everybody's got a different definition of a financial plan. So I'm just curious, as we get started, what's your definition of a financial plan? So be thinking about that. It's not difficult. There's really no wrong answer. I just want to know where you are in this idea, in this arena of financial planning. I already talked about GroupMe. I think I forgot to update this little bad boy, so let's just see what's next. Welcome. That's not what's next. That's okay. So I think I've covered everything there. I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to jump into just basically, so we did GroupMe. Important links, I've already done that. Link to GroupMe, a link to the YouTube playlist. There is a link to Zoom, but right now we have 2 folks in Zoom, and I hope you guys are having fun. But there's just not a lot of activity over there in the chat. By the way, if you're in the Zoom room, if you're in the Zoom meeting and you have a question or a comment or you want to participate, by all means, I look over there at the chat every once in a while. And if you have a question or comment or anything you want to share, I'll be happy to repeat it here on the live stream. But like I said, excuse me, like I said, I've learned that students really don't love that. And so I don't expect you to do it. It's certainly not required, but it's kind of fun. I always thought it'd be a really interactive thing, but it hasn't been a very interactive thing. You will be commenting throughout the semester. This is the next step. This week's class collaboration, I think somewhere I thought I don't have it on my screen. Okay, so one of the things you're going to do this semester is each of your lessons is going to involve this thing called a weekly class collaboration. It's a conversation we'll have each week. This week, uh, in fact, this week is, what is the definition of a financial plan? That's one. And what are your goals? And what are your goals in this course? So the way that this works, and I'll talk about it more next week as we get into you'll have an assignment this week that will be due. By the way, let me just cover that. Assignments, due dates, assignments, which I'm going to cover here in a minute. I'm going to just preview each of these assignments. And this week's assignment is a very easy, straightforward assignment. It's called Saving with Chuck. You're going to watch some videos. You're going to learn a little bit more about saving, the discipline of saving, how it works. It's a very straightforward, very easy assignment. But then you're going to write an article to tell me what you learned in this assignment and the homework that you do. And so that's really this week's lesson, or this week's assignment, I should say, is you're going to learn a little bit more about saving. And then the following week, we're going to talk about budgeting and accountability. But this week, I want you just to get an opportunity to, you know, complete an assignment and submit it in Canvas. And that means you're going to have to learn some things like how to create the article, how to format the article so that it's easy to read. I started teaching this course in 2012, and I would get assignments that were one big, boring paragraph. And that was not cool reading that. But now I ask you to format it so that it's like a report where you highlight headings and you make it easy to read, kind of like what I'm doing here. I like bullet points and highlights and whatnot. Anyway, that's what I'm going to ask you to do in your report. 800 to 1,000 word report. I want you to export it from whatever tool you're using into a PDF and upload that into Canvas. But part of that assignment is you're going to have to do uh, a screenshot. You're going to comment in Money Study Group, or you can comment in YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching this video. You can just leave a comment while you're watching to answer this week's secret class collaboration question. That's how I know you're participating in these weekly live streams. You are required to watch these each week. So I have a way to know whether or not you watched the live stream, and that is I'm going to have each week a secret class collaboration, and you're going to basically need to comment on that. You can comment in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, doesn't matter. But when you do your comment, when you do that interaction, go ahead and grab a screenshot so you can prove to me that you left a comment. Ideally, you will leave a comment in Money Study Group, where we have this space on that platform, Thinkific, where you can collaborate with this cohort without the whole world seeing it. But if you're like me and you're watching on YouTube and you just want to leave a comment on YouTube, you're welcome to do that. But that's the weekly class collaboration, and that's something you're going to want to pay attention to. Another thing there is how to screenshot. I'm looking, I don't see, hold on. I thought I had a how to screenshot. Yeah, let's see. I think I do. Let me see if this works. How to screenshot. Okay, you see my face just got really weird because I'm not really prepared for this. But let me talk about how to screenshot for a minute while you see can't see the top of my head. Taking a screenshot, you might want to take a screenshot of this because this is the screenshot that you will um, let me get the top of my head. I'm sorry about that. I should have been more ready, but I'm not. So sometimes students will just take a picture of the screen and they'll use that as a screenshot. And that's not a proper screenshot, and you will get a 15-point deduction. So don't do that. Learn how to make a proper screenshot. Uh, Let me see. This week's class collaboration is, we already talked about that, but I just want you to see that I did prepare an actual little thingy bob for you to see. Isn't that cute? Canva, not Canvas, but Canva may be the most coolest tool I've ever used on my Mac. You can create stuff like this pretty easy. But anyway, I'm just showing off my amazing skills as a graphic designer, which are not that great. But anyway, class collaboration is part of this course. You get 200 points, 200 points for class collaboration. And I just explained to you how it's going to work. Each week, there's going to be a secret class collaboration thingy. This week, it's really not secret. It's all laid out there in Money Study Group. But you're going to have a secret class collaboration that you will need to comment on. Ideally, like I said, you will comment inside of Money Study Group. Once you enroll, you'll see it's pretty easy, but it's a place where you can collaborate and see other students' comments and your comments. So whatever the topic is for that week's secret class collaboration, that's what you need to comment on, because that's my way of knowing that you watched the weekly live stream. So that's important. Uh, we did already talk about GroupMe. And again, there we have my GroupMe. Sorry, I'm making edits as we as I try to talk. So sorry about that. Anyway, that's the GroupMe, I think. Should be GroupMe, but yeah, GroupMe for your questions. So there you have that. Let's see what else. I had some links, UH links I talked about. So uhplaylist.com, that redirects to the playlist for the semester, which this semester, fall 2025, it should be. Should be. I know it's working because I checked it yesterday. But again, this video is currently not in the playlist because that playlist, or this is a live stream, so I have to, after it's done, I have to go and pop it into the playlist. So FYI. Then there's a GroupMe link, UHGRP. That's the GroupMe link. So there you have it. Let me talk about this for just a minute while I see it here. The Thinkific platform. So when you jump into Money Study Group, which is on the Thinkific platform, it's an LMS. It's like a tool for creating courses, and it's, in my opinion, it was the best one. It's not cheap. I spent a lot of money building this course. When COVID hit, uh, we were asked, U of H, all the instructors were not asked, we were required to teach online. You may remember that. Maybe you don't. But if you do, it was a challenge. And I'll promise you, I watched as we struggled trying to figure out how to teach online. And I'm pretty decent with technology because I have this awesome MacBook. So I figured it out, but I figured out pretty quickly. At that time, we were using Blackboard, and it was just not, it was clunky as all get out. So anyway, I invested a lot to build this course out as an online course, and Thinkific is the platform I chose. So that's what you're getting in the course. Thinkific is, it's a great tool, and I believe it's going to help me deliver better results for you this semester. So I know it's a bummer to have to pay 79 bucks, but I promise you that 79 bucks is going to pay huge dividends. So I hope you'll trust me on that. Uh, I think I got one thing I wanted to talk about real quick is clearing your cache. So if you don't know what that means, well, don't feel bad, because clearing your cache is one of those technical things that probably is hopefully something you never have to worry about. Let me get that out of the way. Clearing your cache is uh, it's a technical thing that happens in your browser. So whether you're using, I use Safari mostly, I use Chrome, I use Firefox, I use different browsers. So do you know what browser you use? If you know, you should know what browser you use, because it needs a little maintenance every once in a while. It needs a little love. Kind of like when your iPhone crashes. What is the number one thing you do to your iPhone when it crashes? You hopefully, you turn it off. First you close all those apps you have open, and then you just turn it off and turn it back on, and usually that'll fix the problem. Same with your computer. Well, with your browser, it's kind of the same thing. Sometimes just exiting out of the browser and then opening it again will refresh your cache, CACHE. But sometimes you have this collection of stuff in your browser that will prevent you from, like, logging onto a certain site. So all that to say, please don't please don't send me an email, excuse me, if you're not able to log in to one of the tools that you're instructed to log into this semester. Before you email me, please just clear your cache. So I want you, that's a skill that I want you to have in this course, because it's like the number one reason that I get students saying, hey, I can't log in, and it's 2 in the morning and they're trying to get an assignment done and they can't get in because their browser has all this stuff that it's saved, and part of that is security, and that means you go to try to log into something, or you get logged in and you don't have the right stuff. Trust me, there's lots of weird gremlins that come with this issue, and the solution, the way to overcome it is almost always clearing your cache. So just know how to do that. Take a little screenshot there, and maybe that will help you. By the way, I'm just going to mention again, if you're a YouTube user, please subscribe to the channel. You don't have to like the video, but it certainly, I don't really pay attention to likes, but I do. If you are a YouTube user, it costs you nothing to subscribe to the channel. And then if you hit the little bell, you'll get a notification that I'm doing a live stream. So that's an easy way for you to kind of pay attention if you're a YouTube user anyway, to know that this live stream is going on. So you might as well, if you're available, jump on the live stream every Tuesday at 10 a.m. And the best way to get notification is just subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell, and that will make it easy for you. Certainly not required. You do not get extra points, but it is what it is. By the way, LinkedIn is my favorite social platform, and if you're not on LinkedIn as a student in a business college, probably not a bad idea. It's better than Facebook, that's for sure. And so, at any rate, if you are on LinkedIn, I'd love to connect with you this semester whenever that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to jump back up into the, let's see. Uh, so the next, I'm just going to start. Let me just show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to be going through these assignments. So I'll just list them right here so you can see them. These are the assignments that are coming up. So I'm not going to spend much time going through them. I'm just going to talk about them real quick, and then we'll be done. This is supposed to be a short lesson, short lecture. Again, this is just designed to help you get started. There is one thing I want to make sure I don't forget. I'm looking for it. It's called early assignments. I have a nice little Canva thing. Here we go. I'm going to, before I go through these assignments, I want to make sure you understand probably the most, I don't want to say that, but I kind of think you want me to say it. So I'm going to probably say it because it has to do with you getting an A in the course, which is a really important thing for you. And because it's important for you, it's important for me. So I want to cover this. So let me just click on this real quick. And again, I have to make this little edit because my little head is cut off at the top. So give me just a second to fix that. Okay, this may be the most important thing you hear today. And you will want to share this with all of your friends in GroupMe if they don't know. The easy way to get an A. This is the easy way to get an A. I want to tell you a quick little story before I jump into reviewing the assignments. But this is how you can earn an extra 10 points on each assignment. These assignments, if you look at the syllabus, you'll see how much each assignment is worth. We have 12 assignments that are worth 50 points each. But if you turn them in early, if you turn your assignment in early by Friday at 3 p.m., you will get, or you qualify for, an extra 10 points. Now, you have to do the assignment correctly to get the 10 points extra, but that's a 20% bump. That's 120 extra points over the course of the course. So you don't want to miss that, okay? It's part of my attempt to teach you the basic things you need to learn to become very successful in managing money. And if you're the kind of person that waits till the last minute, that's going to show up in your financial life. I promise you. So in this course, I want to incentivize you. I want to give you a reason to be early. And so here's a couple of things that happen if you take advantage of this important offer. Number one, you get the extra 10 points. If you turn your assignment in by Friday at 3 p.m. Why Friday at 3 p.m.? Because I'm an adjunct professor. I have an actual business that I run. And I teach on Tuesdays, and by Friday, I'm looking for your assignments. And if you're kind enough and prepared enough to submit your assignment by Friday at 3 p.m., that's when the market closes. And that's when I'm then generally available to try to knock out some of my U of H work before the weekend, which I kind of like to enjoy with my wife and my grandkids. and so I try to knock out as much as I can on Friday evening before I take the weekend. You turning in your assignment early gives me the ability to get that done. Now, if you want to wait until Tuesday at 10 a.m., that's when all the assignments are due. Tuesday, every Tuesday at 10 a.m., not midnight. So I know that's how most of your classes are, and I may be throwing you a curveball. So make a note of that. All of your assignments are due on Tuesday at 10 a.m. But if you want to get extra points, turn them in by Friday at 3 p.m., and you'll get an extra 10 points. And in addition to the extra points, what you get, let's say you miss something, you make a mistake, you forget something. My commitment to you is that if you turn your assignment in early, Friday at 3 p.m., when I grade it, I may not grade it until Saturday or even Sunday. But whenever I grade your assignment, it will be before Tuesday, and you will get a comment from me if you miss something. And that means you have the opportunity to redo it, to fix it, to correct it so that you get the full points. And here's the thing. If you make your corrections and submit them into Canvas by Tuesday at 10 a.m., after I say, hey, you're missing this, you're missing that, go, check it out, fix it. If you do that, if you fix it, if you correct it, and then resubmit it by Tuesday at 10 a.m. when it's due, then you still qualify for the 10 extra points for being early. Now, do me a favor. If you're that student, you submit it early, Friday at, maybe you submit it Thursday at 2 p.m. and I grade it and I say you missed something, and you look at that and you fix it and you resubmit it in Canvas. Be sure to use that little text box when you submit your assignment to say, I'm resubmitting this. It was early. Just remind me of that, because what will happen is if I'm grading your paper, Tuesday night or Wednesday after the due date comes and goes, your assignment's going to be sitting in there with everyone else's. And if you leave that little comment, then I'll know you still get the extra 10 points. But if you don't leave that comment, chances are you won't. You'll have to email me. I'll have to go back into Canvas. I'll give you the 10 points because you earned them. But just make it easy for me, please. Just remember, if you're submitting the second time after making corrections and you want the extra 10 points, just give me a little note right there in the little text box. Thank you. So that's it. Be early, gain more points. I think that's it. Now, most students, I don't want to say most students, but a lot of students are not going to do this. And then at the end of the semester, they're going to be like, hey, I need 5 extra points. I could have got an A if I could just get 10 more points. And my answer is, hey, all semester since day one, I've been begging you to turn your assignment in early so you can get these extra points. So don't bother me at the end of the semester for a few extra points, because I'm not going to give them to you. So that's that. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Let me go back to my iPad and let me just get rid of this. I'll put that back up. Actually, just give me a second here. I'm going to do that, hide that, and I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so these are the assignments. I think. Yeah, so you're going to do this week's Saving with Chuck. Super easy. You're just going to get a chance to do your assignment. And again, turn it in by Friday at 3 p.m. If you have any questions, I'll review it. I'll grade it. I'll send you specific instructions for how to fix it. Like if you take a picture of the screenshot instead of an actual screenshot, you will get a 15-point deduction. I'll send it to you and I'll say you need to fix it, and then you'll get a chance to fix it, and you'll be making extra work for me, and I don't really like extra work. But I'll give you the extra points. But you need a real screenshot. If you don't know how to do a screenshot, learn how to do a screenshot. So anyway, that's that. Next is budgets and accountability. I'm going to ask you to create a budget, and that week, during that week, your homework assignment will partly be to tell me what you're using to track your money. So accountability is really important. And this semester, you're going to be accountable for all of your spending. You're going to have to capture that and show at the end of the semester what all of your transactions. It's super easy if you're using a tool. Usually it's an app that's on your phone. Usually it's your bank, or it could be mint.com. Anyway, you're going to create a very simple budget in that assignment, and you're going to also tell me what tool you use to track your spending. Next is credit reports and FICO score. I'm going to teach you what's included in a FICO score. You're going to actually get a free credit report, and that's a great assignment. It's usually very helpful. We'll talk about that. Then one of my favorite assignments in the entire semester is called the parental interview, and your first memories of money. And I'll talk about that again each week when I do the lecture. That's what the lecture will be about, but these are just your assignments. The next two assignments are really important. One of them is consumerism awareness. That's a crazy name, but I want you to know that you are a target for marketers, for people that are trying to sell stuff. You will always be a target, but as a college student, you're a real big target. So we're going to talk about just being aware of how all this marketing is designed to help you spend more money than you actually have, and usually using debt to do it. And that's what the Credit Crush assignment is all about. We'll do the Credit Crush setup and then the Credit Crush assignment. So those are two really important assignments. Then we'll do a cool assignment on bargaining and negotiating, and I'll teach you some things about bargaining and negotiating that will help you move the needle in your financial life. It's a very helpful, fun assignment. None of these are hard. We'll spend a week on insurance, and it's not my favorite because there's just so much in insurance. But here's the thing: insurance is a big part of your budget. If you look at the categories in most people's financial budget, insurance is a big one. And so I want to teach you my number one goal in that lecture and that lesson and that homework assignment is to help you learn the things you need to learn so that you can become a good consumer of insurance. And I have a lot of letters after my name, professional designations that make me, unfortunately, an expert in insurance. So I'm going to share some of that with you, with some stories and some things that will help you be a better consumer of insurance because it's expensive. And I want you to know how to be a good consumer of insurance. So that's Insurance 101. And then we're going to get into the most popular it's the most popular topic. It is investing. I'm going to teach you how to invest. I'm going to teach you to be confident and fearless. Really, I'm going to teach you how to invest without fear. I'm going to teach you 4 investment strategies that are absolutely designed to help you maximize your returns and minimize your risk. And they're especially designed for, generally college students who are generally younger than me. Now, I know we may have a student or two that's in their 40s or 50s, but typically these strategies, these 4 investment strategies that are designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk, they're super duper handy and powerful for young folks who are just starting out. So when I talk about the little things you can do that make a huge difference, these 4 investment strategies that are designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk are going to be, you don't want to miss it, okay? Number 1 is diversification. Number 2 is asset allocation, which is actually number 2 is dollar cost averaging, which I think, no. Number 1 is diversification. It's super simple. I'll tell you a story about Enron. Number 2 is asset allocation. It is the single most important determinant of your portfolio's returns. So you got to learn about uh, asset classes before you can understand how asset allocation works. So I'm going to teach you that. It's very important. In fact, again, it's the most important determinant of your portfolio's returns is asset allocation. You're going to learn about that this semester. Number 3 is dollar cost averaging, which I believe is the most powerful investment strategy designed to help you maximize returns and really minimize risk. And over time, I think it's the most powerful strategy because it works. It's like super, when you learn it, I'm going to teach you about Farmer Joe and his cows, and I'm going to teach you how dollar cost averaging works. It's the third investment strategy designed to help you maximize returns and minimize risk. Finally, the fourth strategy is called portfolio rebalancing. So I'm going to teach you how that works and how you can use that with very little effort to really improve the results you have in your investing life. So you don't want to miss the investment part of this course. Those four investment strategies are, they may seem a little intimidating at first, but I promise you, you're going to walk away with the skills and the confidence to become a fearless investor. And that's going to make a big difference in your life. I promise you. So that's that. When we do, after we do that, I'm going to spend a little more time on asset allocation, and you are going to create in your own financial plan, which I haven't mentioned yet, but this entire course is built around you building a comprehensive financial plan for yourself. And we'll get into that each week. We'll build on it. But what you're going to do by the time we get to this is like week number, man, that's week number 11. Lesson number, actually 10, asset allocation would be at lesson number 10, homework assignment number 10. And you're going to be using your financial planning portal, which will get you set up with that next week or the week after. But that's something you're going to use to build your financial plan and tweak your own asset allocation so that you can see how that impacts the bottom line in your financial plan 10, 20, 30 years from now. So it's going to be a cool experience for you, and I'm looking forward to it. So tax allocation is next. I told you the second law of personal finance is the law of tax advantage investing. In order to teach you that, I'm going to have you do an assignment where you take your financial plan and you break it out into buckets that are different tax allocation buckets, like IRA, 401k, Roth IRA. You're going to learn about different types of accounts because that's the essence of tax advantaged investing. So you're going to learn that, and I'll teach it to you in small steps. I promise it will be not difficult. The final one is just kind of an overview. It's called the Blueprint for Financial Success, and it's just kind of a ad hoc assignment that I put together to give you a chance to summarize what you learned over the semester. Finally, the capstone assignment, which is different than the other assignments. We don't have a final exam, but we do have a capstone. It's 200 points. It's required. You can't not do the capstone. You have to do it to pass the course. And so we will do that. We will talk a lot about the capstone because the capstone is really essentially it's the report from your financial plan that you build over the course of the semester, and then you create a report that is basically your financial plan with all of the elements and components that were part of each of the previous assignments. So if you do well on the assignments throughout the semester, by the time you get to the capstone, it's just a matter of grabbing everything and putting it together in one report. It's really not hard. 200 points. Again, 200 points for class collaboration, 10 or 50 points for each of the 12 assignments, with an option to get an extra 10 points if you turn them in early. You need 950 points to get an A in this course. Let me say that again. How many points do you need? Yes, Kelly, you were supposed to screenshot your comment. I just saw your question. So now I'm going to ask the question again, and if you're in Zoom, you're welcome to answer the question. And the question is, uh, what was the question? Yeah, what was I about to? I'm trying to remember. Capstone assignment. I forgot what I was about to ask, Kelly. I'm not happy with you at the moment. Just kidding. I, I'm so sorry. I, I'm going to have to watch this video and leave a comment and tell you what it was. Uh, Gosh, that's embarrassing. So moving on. Uh, Capstone assignment. Oh, I know, 10 So I was talking about points. Okay, you need 950 points to get an A in the course. You get 120 points from those 10, not 120. It's 600 points for 12 assignments worth 50 points each, with an additional 120 points if you turn it in by Friday at 3 p.m. And then 200 points for the class collaboration, which means you're answering the secret weekly class collaboration, leaving a comment and throwing a screenshot into your report. So that's 200 points. And then the capstone assignment is 200 points. 950 points is what you need to get an A in the course. Now, here's the thing I want you to really appreciate in the way this is set up. My goal when I set this up, and it took me a couple years to figure out how to do this in a way that worked for the purpose I'm about to describe. What I wanted to do was I wanted to give the students who have more difficult classes where you have a final exam, where it requires you to be really studying and preparing, by the time you get to that point in the semester, my hope was that you had basically already earned an A in this course. So if you get 950 points, you can earn those pretty quick. If you're doing the early assignments, you can get to 950 points pretty quick. So if you get to 750 points and you have not yet done your capstone assignment, that's 950 points. Let's say you have 750 points by week 10. You know you're in good shape and you can start working on your capstone. I'll post that pretty early in the semester. But anyway, I just want you to know it's not difficult to get an A in the course. And my hope is that by the time we get to finals week, even a week before that, you will have enough points to have an A in this course. But it's up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to you. Do the work, do it early, and you'll be moving in that direction. That's my hope for you. So, tutorial requests, we'll talk about that. But as we move through the semester, there's going to be times when you're going to have questions. As we get to the capstone assignment, any assignments you struggled with throughout the semester will affect your capstone. So if you're struggling with stuff, it's a good opportunity for you to send me a request, and we'll talk about how that works later on. Today I've covered way too much. It's 11 a.m. I did not mean to go this long, but it's been like kind of fun. And so I hope you have a great week. Good luck on your assignment. It's an easy assignment. It'll be posted. It should be available now in Canvas. So it should have been available at 10 a.m. Don't forget it's due at 10 a.m. every week. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I will see you next week. Take care and have a great week.